Guys, we need to talk because I keep getting the same question, which is, why are the local police helping ICE and not the local residents? All right. Now, I have an answer for that question, but you are not going to enjoy it because it is unpleasant and it is well documented. So anybody that comes at me saying it's a conspiracy, I'm gonna put the links right here so you can go look up for yourself. Okay. And I did a video about this literally 6 months ago, but people weren't really ready to accept what was coming. The reason that the local police, the majority of them, are working with ICE is because they're working with ICE. As in, they have a contract called a 287G in place where they are working for pay, okay, with ICE to basically act like deputized agents inside your neighborhoods. So that's the short version. If you want the details, stick around. Here's the setup, right? Immigration violations are civil in nature. They're not criminal, which means that the police should have nothing to do with it. That said, if someone re-enters the country after deportation, that's a felony, right? So that becomes a criminal matter, and that's where the gray area is. And you know what people like to do? They love to play in the gray. And the real pipeline comes from something called the 287G, which is part of the 1996 Immigration and Nationality Act. And this allows ICE to sign formal agreements with your local police departments, giving them federal authority to enforce immigration law. And wait, because it gets so much worse than you can imagine. So once deputized, ICE gives them a few weeks worth of training, and suddenly your local police can question people about immigration status during traffic stops, issue ICE detainers, which means if let's say they arrest you for a DUI, they can hold you for a certain period of time and then hand you off to ICE. They can even arrest people for civil violations because of the 287G order. And just to make sure I have your attention, do you see this right here on the screen, this map? See how many states have 287Gs? Okay. Now you may go there and see if your local police department is working with them. There's a long list, but I'll also draw your attention to the states on this map that don't have 287Gs. And please note, those are the states where Trump is placing heavy pressure. And it's not just that they're acting as an extension of ICE during their day-to-day law enforcement duties. They also get pulled into neighborhood raids, workplaces, neighborhoods, you name it, just to assist federal agents. And as of mid-2025, now there are a couple of states, California, New York, several others, that say, no, we're not going to participate. We're not going to play ball with you. So now you might be asking, well, why are the cops getting involved? Immigration isn't even a local issue. Well, follow the money. Don't forget to like, repost, and follow for updates, and enter the words always follow the money in the comments section. And completely seriously, guys, if you're enjoying this content, follow me over on YTube because, creators on this platform are just going missing. Yes, of course, ICE is paying these local law enforcements, not per raid because that would be too obvious, through what they call reimbursements. Here's how the incentives break down. ICE is giving full salary plus benefits coverage to the local police departments for any officer that goes through 287 training. They get overtime reimbursement to 25% of their salary for long operations and quarterly bonuses of up to $500 to $1,000 depending on success rates. Basically meaning how many removable people do you find and turn over to ICE. And in September of 2025, as in last month, this program got supercharged. Reimbursements expanded, bonuses increased, and participation shot up by over 600%. That's nearly 950 departments across the U.S. now acting as ICE extensions in your local neighborhood. So before I forget, please go to ice.gov/287G, and there's a list, you can find it, and go check, see if your police department is participating. More likely than not, they are. What's the result? It's what we're seeing. Local policing takes a back seat to bounty hunting, but for immigration quotas. So besides the money, why would the local police agencies get in bed with ICE? First, there's a safety spin. They're told it's about criminal aliens, even though most arrests are, of course, civil in nature. They have federal perks. Post 9/11 funding tied immigration to national security. Cooperating unlocks just more grant money and manpower. ICE simply cannot handle the number of deportations that they're shooting for. The local cops fill the gap. Compare that to other civil issues, the ones that matter in our local communities. You don't see the federal government deputizing local law enforcement get involved in civil issues, divorce court, or unpaid fines. There's no paycheck or bonus for that. Translation: immigration is the only civil matter that Congress baked extra funds into. And then let's round this video out by talking about what happens when you have cops that are focused on bounty hunting for ICE instead of local law enforcement. Obviously, it goes without saying that trust collapses, and even when all of this is over and ICE is gone and we have a new administration, that trust will still be gone. People stop calling 911, even to report serious crimes, because they're afraid that that help comes with deportation and handcuffs. And it's not like there aren't a few police stations across the nation that understand that the money's not worth it because you'll ruin the trust. And in sanctuary cities, this is absolutely outlawed, which is why Trump is all over the sanctuary cities. Because, of course, if he can't use your local cops, he has to send somebody in, so he has to try to pretend that there's a riot happening and use the National Guard. Meanwhile, while the cops are over here, instead of serving and protecting, they're bounty chasing and cashing in, pulled off of things like domestic calls, school zones, and traffic duty to do ICE's dirty work. Yeah, your stolen car report, your friend who got raped, your neighbor who got unalived, yeah, that's just paperwork sitting, because, there's just no money in it. Bottom line, it isn't protect and serve, it's deputize and deport. Here's the part that's really going to be like a kick in the nuts. It's our tax dollars that are funding these incentives. What do you guys think? Should local police be on the take from ICE, taking money to absolutely pillage their local communities to make a few extra bucks? You guys let me know in the comments. And don't forget to share this with literally everyone you know.